Hey, y'all. Happy Thursday. Welcome into the show. I want to talk about a topic that's on my mind today, and that's this idea of leveling up and the fact that I think, and I want to hear your thoughts on this. Turn my computer screen up a little bit. The brightness on little ones and twos today. Leveling up takes more than manifesting and planning. Now, let me share this to my group right quick. This is why I'm looking at my other screen. Y'all know me. I love sitting around talking about ideas. I love dreaming big ideas. I love being a visionary. But I'm also realizing probably how much I spent too much time planning and too much time trying to get a perfect offer and too much time trying to understand all of the things that I could have learned the best by executing. So I want to talk about today how leveling up takes so much more than just manifesting, praying, and planning. Like, can we be for real today? Can we be for real? Okay, so happy Thursday. Go ahead and let me know how you're feeling in the chat. Let me know what you're conquering this week inside your business. I want to see what you're conquering this week inside your business. So let me know. Ladies, happy Thursday. We are in this thing. We're going to be talking about leveling up, child. You know, on the show yesterday, I was talking about how I had saw on Facebook how a lot of people have been saying like this last part of 2025, this September, October, November, and December that they are really, really, really locking in. And I was like, I'm feeling the same way for myself. I'm feeling this idea of locking in. I'm feeling this idea of I've uncovered some stuff that I just really need to be consistent at. And that's going to unlock the next level for me. So, like, and I like that for us. I like that for us. Okay, let's dive into this topic today, child. And you tell me what you think, okay? So, when we talk about leveling up, this is what I mean as a small business owner. I'm thinking if you're similar to me, right, where majority of how I got started and how I have excelled in my business has been me showing up online, which has a lot of pros and a lot of cons, right? A lot of pros in the fact that it's free, it's a lot of visibility, you can grow fast, but a lot of cons in how sustainable it is, right? Because once you burn out or once you want to start doing something different, you kind of feel like you're starting from scratch. And so, with that, what we're trying to do is make sure that we're not only relying on online visibility, right? That we do grow the online visibility, but that we also make sure that we're having offline connections, we're hosting events, we're being true leaders. Because what I found is a lot of people that are connected to me through Conquer. Yes, all of y'all have businesses. And if you're listening, then maybe you're included with this. You can let me know down in the chat. But a lot of people, yes, they have a business that they love, but they're also leaders. Like, also, like, they empower people, they inspire people, they motivate people. A lot of them just end up becoming coaches and teaching people how to do other things because a lot of business owners that I work with, they actually lead spaces. They lead spaces. There are people that others want to follow. And it seems like they can't even run from that. So that's why I talk about, with being in the community, if you're leveling up personal branding, you're leveling up visibility. Y'all know I tell the story about even me trying to host my own events. So scary. So scary, but it makes a world of difference as far as getting into the marketplace and being noticeable and standing out, right? Okay. So let's get into this topic today. So I had to ask you a question, child. And if you're catching this in the replay, then let me know, okay? Do you use Chat GPT to build out strategies? Oh my God, and talk through ideas. Because this is so me. This is so me. I will literally sit on Chat GPT, child. Oh yeah, I got stuff on top of my glasses. I will literally sit on ChatGPT and talk through my ideas so much. Do you do this? I will talk through my ideas. I will talk through my offers. I will be like, well, does this align? What about this email? Like, and just get lost because it is such a good reflection tool, a good, it'll curate a lot of good ideas for you. But let me tell you what's happening. Let me tell you what's happening. That will also stunt and slow down so much how you execute. Because before, now y'all know I'm just a little millennial, okay? But having a tool like that at the tip of your hands where you can immediately start bouncing off ideas, you can immediately dive into strategy, you can dive into all of the details and specifics, and it's going to hype you up. That's such a good thing, right? I think it's a pro and con to everything. That's a good pro. But the con is when it's time to execute and fear starts to creep in, instead of moving forward, executing, we go back to, well, maybe I should talk through it a little bit more. Maybe I should put some more details on it. Or maybe I should try to figure out, like, who's my ideal customer again? Like, it's time to go execute. So when I talk about this idea of leveling up takes more than just planning and manifesting, y'all, if you anything like me, I was like, okay, Deb, you're going to have to close the chat GPT now and go out into the real world and do the work. Okay. But I'm not mad at it. Okay. So I made a list. That's why I'm looking down at my notes here, girl. I made a little list because I was just thinking about when we talk about this idea of like leveling up and growth. And that's gonna look so different for each of us, right? Because I'm seeing what it looks like for me clear as day. I am unbelievably full blown fire lit under me, excited about Conquer Fall 2025, Spring and Summer 2026. Like times 1,000. I truly am. Can't wait for everybody to see. Okay. But I had wrote down a couple of notes like what are some of the things that I'm thinking it through, as I feel like I'm kind of leveling up. Well, not kind of, as I'm definitely leveling up through seasons. And even what I'm seeing that's taking place in the community with the ladies there inside the Conquer Club that are coming to Conquer and cocktails. Some of the things that I'm hearing from them, I want to talk about. Okay. Got a few tips. Okay. So when we think about this idea of leveling up, I've got three things here. Okay. Because I like to think in terms of what can I actually put into my day to day. The first one is actually doing the executing instead of planning so much. This is just a matter of this is gonna be a simple one to breeze through because this is gonna be a matter of I know we say discipline, but child, I don't use the word discipline because I don't think that I think life be lifing. And I think that if I say, well, I need to be disciplined, I need to be disciplined, I shame myself instead of saying, hey, let me ebb and flow and work through this so that I can be somewhat consistent. So, but planning more than executing, I know for me, I know if you're anything like me, I'm always writing stuff down. I don't know what that looks like for you, but I'm always writing down what needs to be done today, what can wait, and actually executing way more than I plan. Way more than I plan. Okay, so that's the first thing. That one is going to vary from person to person, but that's where a lot of the work is. A lot of the work is, okay? I'm gonna go through. Let me put this topic back here because this is what we're talking about today. We're talking about this idea of leveling up. Happy Thursday, y'all. Let me know what you're gonna be conquering this week inside your business. Honey, drop it down in the comments. But we're talking about this idea of leveling up takes more than manifesting and planning. Y'all know me, I love ChatGPT. I love planning. I got all my notebooks, all my journals, girl. I write them down top to bottom, scribble, all of that, all type of stuff in my Google files and everything. Just tons and tons of ideas and past things. But I'm like, I don't want to say none of that matters, but a small percentage of that actually moves the needle over actually executing, doing the work, doing it a little messy, doing it when it's small, doing it when it's imperfect, doing it when I didn't have the whole thing figured out from top to bottom, left to right. Being doing stuff like being afraid to launch something because I'm like, oh my God, I don't have every single detail figured out. So I'm just gonna do nothing. Like you don't learn that way. You don't learn that way. You don't learn that way. Okay. And I was talking about this idea of like using something like ChatGPT, which I love so much. I keep a tab open. Okay. But I was talking about the pros and cons. The pros being that you can bounce the ideas off so good, but the cons being that maybe that may paralyze you and stop you from executing the way that you're probably supposed to because you have such a good tool at your disposal, honey. So we got to be intentional about when we say waking up and conquering that I'm going to be executing instead of just planning, instead of just doing theory, instead of just, well, I think this, or I need more stuff, or I need to add some, like just doing it. Doing it messy, doing it imperfect, and doing it even when it's small. That's the only way you get ready for the big stuff. You don't get ready for the big stuff by just sitting on the cliff, watching it wade. You go and start tiptoeing and seeing what's up, right? That's the only way you can get through it. It's gonna be hard, but hey, it's what you signed up for. Okay. All right. So that's the first thing. Execute more than you plan. Okay. Second thing is I call this like a push and pull, right? So with your business, when we talk about leveling up, I want you to push people into your business, but also pull people into your business too. So my idea of that is where I'm seeing growth happen for us is when we do things to attract people in, show up, content, blah, blah, blah. But we also pull people in, like literally grabbing somebody by the hand and pulling them into your business, reaching out to them, connecting with them, following up with them. When you network with them, you email them. So, like this push and pull method, okay? And not just relying on one over, more than the other, okay? So, pulling people in, right? Attracting, doing all your cute stuff, doing all your TikToks, doing all your lives, blah, 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 and then pulling people in. Hey, Mr. Joe, I see you got a corner store down there at off Cockrell Hill. Can I come set up a table and sell outside your store this Saturday afternoon? Like pulling people into your world. Okay. Really, 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 really pulling them in, pushing them in. My bad. Pushing them into your world, saying, hey, this is me. This is who I am. I need you in my world. Understanding we're going to get some no responses, may get rejected, may get ghosted, but you will get some yeses, baby, especially if you stay consistent with it. This is the type of stuff that people don't want to do. They don't want to do that. Don't want to face that type of rejection and then think that they'll be trusted to handle a multi-million dollar business one day, but can't handle the rejection of 18 people on Instagram in a week. Like, what are we doing and what are we talking about here? I want you to think about it. You're that big long-term dream, right? I want to be trusted with employees, with funding, with money, with all of these decisions. But the idea of being rejected by 18 people on Instagram next week makes my stomach hurt. Mm, I don't like it when the math ain't math. Math does not math on that one. Okay. So this is why I talk about planning and planning and planning and planning and manifesting and journaling all the time, coming up with all of the ideas will sometimes have you lost. And it is what it is. So much thinking and so much striving to perfection that not much execution is being done. So not much learning is being done. Not much failure is being done. Hello, somebody that knows that has to be a big part of your process. If you're not doing much failing on a regular basis, I can guarantee you're not flying high. I can guarantee you're flying at a level of comfort for you. If you're not constantly experience what you would consider a failure. I say what you would consider because obviously that means you're moving and you're getting lessons. This is what's going to separate us in about 10 years. In about 20 years. This is the type of stuff where you're going to be able to see who was working or who wasn't working. Because right now it's easy to blend in because if it look cute online, you got a shot of fitting in. But let these years start to roll by and how you can explain that you've been in business 7 years and you've never hosted an event. You've been a coach for 5 years and you've never created community. How will you be able to keep up and explain that? Or maybe you'll just go start another business. That's messy. That's so messy. That's messy, but that's the truth. Maybe you'll just go start another business and let the applause start all the way over because that's the only way you know how is to start and not follow through. But look cute while doing it. Oop. All right. So leveling up takes a lot more than manifesting and planning. So we need to start executing more than we plan. We need to pull people into our world, attract them, plus push them into our world, right? Hey, look at me. Come into my world. I'm bold enough to ask. And then the last thing is just straight up being bold. I was sitting up here thinking today and even yesterday, I was like, oh damn. I was like, two things, right? Thinking about the present, because I think this week is one of a few weeks where I'm really in the presence, because of course, as a visionary, I spend too much time in the future and I shouldn't. Um and sometimes too, well, I don't want to say too much time in the past, child. Well, sometimes. Yeah. Yeah, I guess so. But I'm like, I'm learning how to just be like, oh man, today the state of the business is awesome. It's not perfect, but we're here. It's working. We're going, and we're surviving. Like, so just being like grateful for the presence. And I was telling myself, I was like, this takes so much courage. What a lot of us are doing, it takes so much courage. I'm talking about an insane amount of courage. And I feel like it may be somebody that's listening that has gotten to a point in their business and they don't realize how much courage they have. I love the word courage. I love the word being bold too, but I also love got a lot of, yeah, being courageous. I love that. I love that. This season is a season of gratitude. It's a season of being present. It's a season of being intentional. And I don't know what this means for your business, but for me, this is a season of, hey, you already know what to do. You just need to do it consistently, like crazy consistently. I don't want to say there's nothing else that I need to learn, because that's not true, right? So much more I need to learn. So much more. I was literally on the SBA site the other day looking at programs for business development. But I was like, and you tell me what you think about this too. I was like, now you know what to do. It's just a matter of doing it. And I'm talking about doing it even when you feel like it don't count, like just doing it for real. And so this September, this October, this November, this December, this is the season for that. I'm here in Dallas and it's warm and it's hot, but I can feel the weather cooling off a little bit. I feel it cooling off just a little bit. And I was like, oh, yeah, I love this time of the year so much. I'm so excited. I don't know if you can tell in my voice, but I'm so excited about this season, just because I feel like a lot of the seeds that we've planted for so many years are finally popping up with a little grape tomato. Like literally stuff from years ago is like finally start to like sprout. So I love it. I'm here for it. Okay, that's all I got for y'all. Happy Thursday. I'm trying to do a little work before. Y'all know I've been in physical therapy from this car accident, y'all. So I got to go to physical therapy here I'm going to go at 12:30. And then I have a meeting at 2. So I'm going to get off here so I can knock out a little bit of work before I go to this physical therapy. But y'all already know the vibes. Y'all already know what it is. And if you catch the replay, do hashtag replay down in the comments so that I know that you were here. But y'all already know the vibes. When y'all wake up tomorrow, make sure y'all conquer. And tomorrow, we'll be back for Friday. You'll let me know what you conquer. And see you tomorrow. Bye.
Me, the Conquer Club is a sisterhood. I didn't know a lot of these ladies. I have truly made connections, real friendships, bonds. I've cried with these ladies. It elevated my business so much, just putting a foot on the gas and stomping on necks, like literally. I'm really proud to be a part of this space, and I think this is what entrepreneurs need.